What's going on, Flyers fans, and welcome back to Clear the Ice, a Flyers postgame show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call as we continue this dance that the Flyers are doing through the 24-25 season, the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward shuffle as it continues tonight. A hell of an effort down there in South Philadelphia as the Flyers were able to hold off the New Jersey Devils tonight 4-2. Again, I don't understand it. I can't explain this team. They're, the way they go up and the way they go down. It's the rebuilding aspect of everything. I guess that's what we can use tonight, when we explain this game or when we try to analyze what's happening with the Flyers. I as I said, I guess I equate it easily to a dance. It's just a back and forth with this team. And, is it concerning that, when you have a young team that's rebuilding, part of the whole process of rebuilding is having them get a firm kind of grip on things and begin to get some traction, but this team cannot seem to do that. They show fits of really good hockey, really good hockey. And then they put in efforts like they did against the Islanders and the Rangers where they get outscored 9-2, and then they come out tonight and they just played really well against a really good Devils team. A little nicked up, though, not having all their players available to them, but still, they were able to find a way to win tonight 4-2. What's the story of this night? What is the story of the night? If you look at this game, another power play goal, which is very encouraging. I know the power play is not, I repeat, not anything to shake a stick at, and I get that. But take it from me, for a guy that tracked this stuff all last year, there were nights and times throughout last season where I was writing in power play percentages at around 9.8%, 10.2%. They at 8.9%. They had gotten so bad and so deep into this that a 16% power play, which is what they're sporting right now, is a remarkable turnaround for a team that has not added any offensive presence, really. They haven't really added any offensive pieces. Mitchkov has assisted in the power play. Mitchkov excels with scoring with tilted ice and 5-on-4s and all that. But they really haven't done anything in terms of replacing that. They haven't really added an offensive spark, but yet their power play is immensely improved from what it was a year ago. And that's something that definitely is on my radar. I know a lot of people are out there saying, well, the power play stinks. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. But again, take it from me, who ran the numbers daily last year, down in the 9s and the 8s and 10s, 11s. It hovered in that area. I believe it finished at like 12.4. They're up to 16.8. That's pretty impressive. If you ask me, an impressive turnaround for a team that, as I said, did not really add any offensive pieces this past offseason. So Flyers tonight, 4-2 winners. Let's head over now to the game. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I got to mention this. Don't forget, everything that you see here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network is brought to you right now, currently by the It's a Wrap Sports Network, and we need your help. We need to be able to stay and do this type of stuff, and please like and subscribe on all of our social media platforms, to include, and most importantly, this one, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're not watching on YouTube, head over to YouTube and like and subscribe, because we really need that help. And big news is coming. Big news is coming here on the network as we're trying to add shows. I have a potential of 3 shows that I could be adding here in the next week or two. So just stay tuned for that as we are growing. Slowly but surely, we are growing. Let's head over to the game right now. The Flyers. Let's do the administrative part, which we do every time to start games. Flyers tonight. It's a healthy scratch for Sean Couturier and Igor Zamula. Eric Johnson finding his way into the lineup as they sit in Zamula. I take that from what it is, guys. You got a young defenseman in Igor Zamula, and I'm not pro Zamula, but he's also one of those players that fits into the Fedotov mode. If you cut him, if you send him down, he's got to go through waivers. So does he pass? Does he go? Who knows? They're kind of trapped with Zamula. I don't think it's working out personally. Hence the fact that's the only justification you can have for sitting a healthy young defenseman. You're just kind of out on him. And the Flyers decided to sit Zamula tonight again. For the Devils, though, a little bit more of a interesting hodgepodge of healthy scratches, I should say. Jacob Markstrom, their starting goalie, Curtis McDermott, and Nico Hischier all out of the lineup tonight for the Devils as they went into this game against the Flyers. In the net for the Flyers has been the most steady goaltender we have had all season, and that is Mr. Sam Ersson. 33 shots tonight faced, made 31 saves, 2 goals, finishes with a 0.939 goals save percentage. For the Devils, they went with Allen, who faced 25 shots, made 22 saves, and has a .880 save percentage and finishes that for the night. Flyers were outshot on this game 33-26 by the Devils. Again, mentioned 1 for 2 on the power play. They also killed all 3 penalties that they faced, so that no shorthanded goals given up tonight by the Flyers. Flyers blocked 26 shots, took the puck away 6 times, and gave it away an ungodly amount of 16 times throughout this game. And I will not get off this. For those of you who have followed this program or follow me on the other shows that I do, specifically post-game stuff, I find something and I can't seem to get off of it. Typically in the baseball world, it's RISP and batting average with runners in scoring position and all that. This year with this hockey team, it's been the giveaways and the terrible work off the puck, or work off the body, I should say, because a giveaway in the National Hockey League is defined as an unforced error that results in the puck being taken away. So the Flyers have been really terrible at that this year, and they weren't terrible at that last year. They were very good at that last year, and they've regressed significantly in that category this season. And giveaways in the NHL are one of those stats that are not sexy. They don't stand out at you if you don't really understand how important they are, but they're like a turnover, except you give it away. You didn't turn it over. You weren't forced off the puck. You did something stupid. You overskated, or you fanned on a pass, or something like that. An unforced error that creates a turnover, but it's not a turnover, but it's like a turnover. So it's a very important stat that gets overlooked. And last year the Flyers were exceptional at it, averaging like 6 giveaways a game. This year, from the very beginning of the season, it was up and it has not come down. And that, to me, is one of my warning signs about the future of this team as it's currently constructed. I don't see improvement there. Every night, we get a couple outliers of 8 or 9 or 10, but every night it's around 16, 18. There's been nights where it's up to 25, and nothing's ever touched 30, 28 a couple times. That is something I can't accept for a team that, if you want to go ahead and win a Stanley Cup, you can't give away the puck. I believe the average, let's look at it right now. I updated the stat pack. The Flyers are giving away the puck on average 14 and a half times a game. That's horrible. That's terrible. And that can't be for a Stanley Cup team. Hell, the team last year, as I said, gave up about 6.5 a game. It's well over half more. Or I should say half more than half. There you go, man. I mastered the English language. So that continues to concern me with this team heading through the season. The Flyers, I mentioned, they blocked 26 shots. As they're getting a little bit more, they're getting back to that shot blocking. They're shot blocking ways. So 4-2 Flyers with the win. Let's see what you got to say out here, and we'll get going here. Joe says, "Great Flyers win." Yeah, Joe, it's as I said at the top of the program. It's this weird dance they're doing, the shuffle of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward. It's been very frustrating as they have thrown together a few really good games, and then they follow that up with some really bad ones, and then they come out of seemingly nowhere and they play another good one against a nice the Devils are second, third place in the whole entire conference. I mean, they're a perennial playoff team if they can stay healthy. And they went out tonight, and not only tonight, they're 2-0 against the Devils on the season, or 2-1. What is it? 2-0. 2-0 against their arch rivals from Jersey. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't explain it, and I would love to be able to explain it. And that's part of the problem when you're dealing with a rebuilding team, is that you can't explain a lot of these things, and you need consistency, and rebuilding teams lack that. And the Flyers are trying to find it. But tonight, everything was clicking on, I guess, all the cylinders. Joe says that he loves the penalty kill. Joe, listen, don't get me started. Tonight was good. If you're referring to tonight's penalty kill, 100%, it was very good. But as a whole, so far this season, again, Another one of those areas that is significantly worse than it was last year. This team was upwards to 90% effective shorthanded last year. Like 89 point something was the final number. Right now, they're hovering around 80%. They've given up, I think, 30 power play goals or 30 shorthanded goals this year at this point, which I guess I don't know I don't know how you guys 25. They've given up 25 shorthanded goals, 80.7% effective killing penalties. That number was upwards in the night, was touching 90% last year. And so that's gone down. Now, the absence of Sean Walker, which I think is understated a lot or overstated. I'm going to go with understated. I think his loss, the veteran defenseman back there, I call it the Matt Niskanen effect, has definitely affected this team as these young defensemen kind of figure out and find their way through all this. So I'm going to kind of chalk it up to Sean Walker not being around anymore and nobody else kind of stepping into the breach at this point yet. So I'm going to go ahead with that, I guess. But yeah, that's not been a good thing. I mean, it's been pretty frustrating. But tonight it was very good. The Flyers killed off all 3 penalties that they were assessed. Let's get into the scoring. Let's get into the fun, the meat and the potatoes, the bones, the happy times. Flyers would get things rolling early on at the 11:05. It's not really early on. It's around the halfway point of the first period. Bobby Brink with the aforementioned power play goal, his 7th of the year, Ristolainen and connecting with the assist. Flyers jump up on the early 1-0 lead. And let's bring it up. Again, anytime they can score a power play goal, you got to talk about it. And anytime they do, I obviously love to talk about it. Again, I mentioned, I think the power play has been understatedly better this year. Absolutely, I do. I know it's not great and it's not going to be great, but in the NHL, competent is like 20%. So they're at 16 or close to 17 now. So let's pick it up on the draw. The Flyers are going to do something that's very very important when you want to score goals. They're going to win a faceoff here, and especially when you're on the man advantage in the offensive zone, you want to win that faceoff, and you want to control play right off the bat. And it's going to be the Flyers here with the win. Let's play it. Wow, it's really going slow, man. Man, drop the puck already, dude. All right, so I believe it's Frost down there with the power play, with the face-off. It's going to go back up to Ristolainen. And he's going to set up, right? He's going to set up the power play. Everyone's going to go into their positioning. Devils got it pretty good. Let's stop it here and let's assess now what the Flyers are doing. They're running a very basic power play, right? And the Devils are running a very basic penalty kill. They're boxing around their net. They're collapsing down around their goalie. That's what I would do 9 times out of 10, right? I don't care what's happening out in the perimeter. I don't care where Bobby Brink is. I don't care where Ristolainen is. I don't care where any of those guys are. Of course, Bobby Brink is going to score the goal here, but I'll take that any day. But the Devils are playing this pretty well. The Flyers and Ristolainen is looking for something, and it's going to be very simple. It's very basic, very vanilla, and it's a one-timer, but it's a blast, boy. It's that shot was pretty intense. Yeah, look, as I said, Devils have it defended well. Ristolainen gives the pass. It's a one-timer, the old-fashioned one-timer, and Bobby Brink just lays right into it. That flex on that stick was working overtime as he goes elevated on it, and it goes in, and the Flyers get the early 1-0 lead. So nothing much you can do there. That's one of those old-fashioned goalie goals, right? That's on Allen there. He's probably got to do a little bit better. Was there a screen in front of him? Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know, but still, as a opposing goaltender or as a goaltender in general, you want those back. But the Flyers come up on this at the one. They're up now 1-0. Now, the reason why I'm fast forwarding through here is because I believe, what do we have here? We got, it's going to come up here. Let's get it. I'm going to set it up first, but I'll break away and we'll talk about something else. But yeah, so there's Bobby Brink with the goal. And Bobby Brink obviously is part of that Cates Forrester line. Obviously, this wasn't the line. It was on the power play here. But good news stories. The 3 of them, Cates, Brink, and Forrester this year. And let's pause it there because we got a second goal alert here. The Flyers are going to score again right away. So much away, like 20 seconds later, or 28 seconds, whatever. Joel Farabee is 8th from Scott Lawton in his 15th. At the 11:32 mark of the first period. So literally 28 seconds after this goal, the first goal was scored, the Flyers would strike yet again. Let's key it up. It's already keyed up. Let's run it, shall we? And here we go. This time the Flyers are able to really pressure the puck, and they get a giveaway of their own as the Devils give the puck away. The puck will come popping back out into the neutral zone. Interesting thing here, when you're in this type of situation, you're neutralized, and there's really only one thing you can do, especially when your team is trying to evacuate the zone. You got to go back and you got to give them some time. Devils do that, but then they get really sloppy with the puck here. There's another giveaway and neutralized. The Flyers are able to take possession of it. People are skating backwards. They're skating sideways. They don't really have their full momentum, but the Flyers are going to then transition their way on to the offense. I want you to watch Joel Farabee here as he gives up the puck at this point here, but keep an eye on old number 86, who's definitely, I'm not a Farabee guy. I've been out on Farabee for a hot minute since like last year, but recently over the last 5 or 6 games, he has stepped up his game, and he's returned from the dead, as I like to say. Let's watch Farabee as he's going to do something. All you young hockey players, please watch this. Farabee is going to keep heading towards the net. That is Hockey 101. If you see a play going towards the net and you're an off winger, or if you're the center and it's an off winger with the puck, go to the net, young man or woman. Good things happen when you go to the net, and great things happen when you and the puck both go to the net. And right here, Joel Farabee is going to continue on to the net, gets the fat, juicy rebound. Allen gives up, and then Farabee squirts it back up underneath his pads to give the Flyers a 2-0 lead. Rebounds kill in the National Hockey League. Straight up kill. Nobody knows that more than the Flyers do, and the Flyers fans know it because our goalies are terrible with giving up fat, juicy rebounds. Allen gives up the fat, juicy one to a streaking, going to the net, fundamentally sound play of Joel Farabee, and he gets on that rebound and squirts it up underneath the pad to make it 2-0. Let's pop it back here because the Devil defenseman, number 22, let's keep an eye on him. That's Farabee's his responsibility. Does he get kind of caught staring at some things? Yeah, a little bit maybe. He's a little bit behind, or Farabee just skates past him and he doesn't skate with them. It is what it is. But that play doesn't happen if you don't give up the rebound, Mr. Allen. And you got to work on that. And so does Sam Ersson, so does Fedotov, and so does Kovaslov, actually. And so is about 90% of the goalies in this league. But the Flyers capitalize and make it 2-0 at this point. And that will be all the scoring in that first period. The Flyers would outshoot the Devils 9-8 in the period. Let's head over now to the second period, where Garnet Hathaway with his 7th goal of the year at the 2:49 mark to make it 3-0 Flyers. And this is one of them old-fashioned goals where, well, I should say old-fashioned. It's one of these types of goals that we've talked about a couple times on this show when I've hosted it, where you wish you could give out an assist and a goal to the same player, because when they're so involved in the play and they really kind of pull the play and then they finish the play with the goal, there should be a rule in hockey where you can award an assist to a player who scores the goal. Because in this case, Garnet Hathaway is going to get credit with the goal, but he really, really kind of made this play happen. And let's bring that up because a really hard-working goal by Hathaway as he gets the Flyers up to that 3-0 lead. Let's pop it on. All right, here we go. All right, so we pick up the play coming out of the Devil zone, or out of the Flyers. Out of the Flyers zone. Out of the Flyers defensive zone, up on neutral ice. We're going to get again, sort of a kind of a poor play there. I guess, I don't know if that's a giveaway, but look at Garnet Hathaway. He's going to take the puck, and this is going to be the Garnet Hathaway show. He's going to go right around the net. He's going to control the puck. He keeps control of the puck. There's a little confusion on the Devils there, but Garnet Hathaway has the puck. He's going to take it around the net, and then he's going to push it back out to the point, but then he's not going to give up on the play. He's going to get back into the play, as you can see him. Let's watch him right here. Now, let's kind of stop it, of course. You got Hathaway still here. You got two. This is kind of a odd man rush, or I shouldn't say odd man rush. This is sort of a defensive breakdown a little bit. You got two Flyer players hovering around the Devil net, and you only got one defenseman back here, and everybody else is up. So the Flyers and Ristolainen would be wise to take note of that and get the puck onto the net as quick as they possibly can to try to take advantage of this, and that's exactly what the Flyers will attempt to do. Maybe not as quick as I want them to do, as we got the pass going over to the other side. Now the shot's going to come, but again, let's pause it and pop it back because Hathaway working his way across the crease, across the goal mouth, fighting the defender as he moves across the goalie, providing a screen and also putting himself in a position to get a goal here. And which he does as the puck is shot on net, and Hathaway is going to tip it in right there, and he gets credit with the goal. So there you go. Oh, way to go, Garnet Hathaway, as he gets the goal. But I think he should get an assist too, because he really kind of carried that play and really was a catalyst in scoring that goal. And another young hockey fundamental for all you young hockey players out there. Let's look at it. One of the things as a coach that used to drive me crazy, and it still does, is the so let's stop it. But the reason why I'm not stopping it because we're going to talk about this particular spot of the play, but one of the things that used to drive me crazy and still does as a coach is the notion when players are skating and they're, especially when they're in the offensive zone. I get it when they're trying to catch up or they're trying to get back. I understand that. But when they're involved in the puck or when they're involved in the play, sticks on the ice. Your stick is not doing anything if it's not on the ice. A lot of players like to carry their sticks in that ready position up off the ice with two hands. You got to get your stick on the ice. You cannot do anything without your stick being on the ice. And Hathaway is going to be rewarded with that concept right here as he puts the stick down. He's not in a position to shoot, but he is in a position to do something with it, and that is a tip. And there you go. And that's, again, another good hockey fundamental play for all you young players out there that are looking to be hockey pros, as Garnet Hathaway is showing you good stick on the ice technique. 3-0 Flyers at this point. And that's the way it would stay until about the 8:47 mark as the Devils were scrambling to get some offense. They pulled their goalie, and Dougie Hamilton gets credited with the goal, his 8th. I do have that goal. Let's bring it up here. Again, this is one of those late period goals or, one of those offensive driven goals. There's the goalie's out. The team is chaotic, and they're able to capitalize here. Let's pull it up. Let's get it up here for you as we'll take a look at it. So we'll pick up the play coming out of I believe it's coming out of was going to come out of the Flyer zone, but the Devils do a really good job of keeping it in the zone. Play goes back down low, and everyone's going to flow back. Listen, you got a 6-on-5 situation right now. All right. There's nothing much you're going to do. I don't like this. Everybody was caught in transition. So whoever's back is back, and whoever else is not back needs to get back. And then the fastest way to get back is to skate forward, unfortunately. So you're going to have to turn around and lose control or lose a sight line of players because you're in that type of position. So the Devils are going to take advantage of that. They're going to wait for some things to set up. There's Flyers kind of get a little careless with the puck yet again. Now everybody's sort of kind of back in position, but we got how many? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We only got 5 Devils players in the play right now, but you got the Flyers who are all caught looking at the play, and no one's paying attention to the guy standing over there, and that could be a problem. So let's let this thing run. The Devils are going to set up. The Devils now have their 6th player into the play, and now the Flyers, in my opinion, are not playing this correctly because people are like, you still got these two up, and then you got these two guys intermediate, and then you got this guy down low. You got to push further back. You got these two guys got to push further back. Someone's got to go back, and then someone's got to go intermediate, like right around here. This is not a good design of defensive play. Again, in the situation of 6-on-5 at the end of the game, it's all hell's breaking loose. I understand that, but Flyers got to do better here because they could have been nursing a 1-goal lead, and this was, in my opinion, not really good. But the Flyers are going to get better here. They're going to go back down, but then, what do I tell you about the guy that's standing alone off there? Is he's going to get the nice little tip in there, and Hamilton puts it up underneath Urson for the goal and make it 3-1. And then the Devils would not be able to get any closer as the Flyers would add. I'm sorry, that was in the second period. Now into the third period. Let's wait. What goal am I looking at here? I just showed you the Timo Miner goal. It's 15. Sorry, I just showed you the goals out of sequence. So the goal you just saw was the goal to make it 3-2 at the 18:38 mark of the third period from Bratt and Hughes. And then let's go back to the second period because let's go at the Dougie Hamilton goal because that was the first goal. I knew that something didn't look right. Let's What goal am I looking at here? Yeah, here we go. Let's stop it here. All right. So this is the Dougie Hamilton goal. This is the goal. I was like, that's not Dougie Hamilton scoring that goal. What am I looking at here? So here we go. Let's bring up the actual goal here. Sorry about that. So at this point, it's 3-0 still. This is in the second period, at the end of the second period. So the Devils are going to, once again, it's off the face-off. Devils control the puck in the zone. This is one of those goals Urson's going to want back. It's a clean look. It's going to go into the zone. Everyone's flowing right. You got some problems up front, but the shot's going to be taken. Now, look at here. All right, so let's stop it right there. Yeah, my boy, Travis Sanheim. So this is one of those goals that I would say Urson would have went back, but it's also one of those goals that, can you blame Urson here? The puck was completely bouncing up in the air. Whether or not, if Travis Sanheim does not do anything here and just lets the puck fall to the ground, I don't know in relation where this puck would be, because right now there's nobody sort of in a position to make a play on it. I would say that this guy here might be the best, but Travis Sanheim standing in his way. So I'm not saying that I fault Travis Sanheim for doing this. I'm not saying I fault him for that, but I don't know, man. God, I hate Travis Sanheim. But listen, it's one of those things, right? You know, Travis Sanheim decides to deflect it out of the midair, and it hits off the back of the goalie and goes in the net. So he probably feels about 2 feet tall right now. But again, I don't know if I fault him completely on that. I don't know where that puck would have went if he didn't play it off the air, if you let it just hit the ice. But now you got 3-1. Now it's 3-1. And I showed you the Dougie Hamilton goal, but let's wrap up the second period numbers. Flyers were outshot 15-11 in that period. And then into the third period, we looked at the Timo Meier goal at the 18:38 mark, which was the fast and furious goal at the end. They make it 3-2 at that point, and then Scott Lawton in his 10th with the empty net at 19:45. Flyers win the game 4-2. For the third period, the Flyers were outshot 10-6. And a good win. It was. It was a very good win. We've been playing this New York, New Jersey stretch of games, and we continue it this week, and it's a good win. It continues the dance. Now we just got to keep moving forward and not step the hell back as the Flyers are trying to navigate through this. Let's head over to let's say it's a wrap. The Clear the Ice stat pack updated as of tonight. Flyers now 23-22-6 for 52 points now through 51 games, as this season is going very fast. 23 for 140 on the power play, 16.4%. Again, I cannot necessarily get upset with that. The Flyers finished last season, let's pull it up, with a power play percentage of 12.2. They were 12.2 effective on their power play last year. They are 16.4 effective right now. There were times throughout the season last year, and again, I can't stress this enough, man. I was writing the numbers in. 8.9, 9.3, 10.2. 16.4, and it's held somewhat steady at that spot all year without adding any significant offensive pieces. Is a win for the power play. On the for the shorthanded stuff, the Flyers have been short 130 times. They've killed 105 of them for 80.7. Flyers have scored 150 goals on the season now, still less than 3 a game. They've given up 168 goals, a little over 3 a game. Shots on net, Flyers have now registered 1,396 shots for 27.3. They've given up 1,383 for 27.1. Overtime record still sits at 6-3. Their shootout record is 3-3. They have 6 shootout goals, 3 shorthanded goals. They've taken the puck away 273 times for 5.3 times a game. They've given it up. Again, we kind of beat that to death. 743 times this year, 14.5 times a game. They've now blocked 832 shots for 16.3, which is low. Again, in comparison, last year they blocked 1,528 shots, but only finished with 18.6. So yeah, it's a little low. It's a low. And now since the 21-22 season, the Flyers are 117 for 846 on the power play for 13.8. And I am now 15-10-4 as your host of Clear the Ice. So I maintain that 5 games over 500. Man, I'm holding firm there as I blow out the rest of the competition. So Flyers with the win 4-2. Next up for the Fly Guys, Wednesday night. a home and home. This is the first leg of that home and home. They'll be up in was it Camden, right? Yeah, they're in Camden, and Sal will have you for the post game, and then I'll be back for the Islanders on Thursday. So a fast and furious week for the Flyers against their local competition, and their local rivals continues here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, and all the fun stuff that we provide you here. Remind you that the show, earlier tonight you had the wraparound with Sal. Sal G did this wraparound show. I'll be back tomorrow night with my final word with Matty B, which is a must-see in every household. And, of course, the Birds flyby pregame Super Bowl 59 edition, Eagles and Chiefs on Super Sunday, followed by, of course, the postgame. So we got you covered moving deep into this and all that great stuff. Last thing I want to leave you with before I say adios tonight is I read something somewhere. We got the trade deadline coming up March 7th is the trade deadline in the NHL, and the Flyers, all indications from their own people have said that they're going to be sellers and that they're going to move off of, they're going to continue doing kind of what they did last year where they traded Sean Walker, even though they were in the middle of a playoff race. They are in the middle of a playoff race. Flyers are definitely part of the teams 51 games into the season that have a legit shot of getting to the playoffs. And then the question is going to come back up again. Is it worth it? What's more important right now, a playoff appearance versus building to be a Stanley Cup champion? And that's double-edged sword question. It really is. It's not very easy. It's not very easy to be answered. It isn't. And some of the players that have been kind of thrown around, what the Flyers might actually be able to move off of and trade from and do those things. Who can the Flyers actually move that A, will get them any value in return, and B, will be significant enough for the team that's getting that player, because it's going to be more than likely a Stanley Cup contending team. Are they willing to take a player off that? And the player that we get back from them obviously is not going to be somebody significant because they're in the middle of a playoff run. So it's a very interesting conundrum that the Flyers find themselves in right now. And obviously, as we play this out, March 7th is a trade deadline. We'll see more of what they do. The name that was floated that I read today was Cam York, who in a lot of circles, by a lot of NHL experts, view Cam York as a solid second defensive pairing guy on a Stanley Cup contending team. That's a high commodity right now. That could be significant for a team that thinks they got a shot at winning a cup to acquire a player like Cam York. Now, I am not advocating for the trading of Cam York. I think he's a good young player that has a future here. I think he's going to be really good. But if you can get a potential, I don't even know if we're looking at a draft pick situation, it would have to be significant for Cam York. I mean, we would need a big piece from that team. And I don't know, again, a team that's in the middle of a Stanley Cup run is going to do that. So the Flyers are in a spot right now, because if they're going to trade away some of their players, and Ristolainen has been a hot name, it's that contract that no one's going to want to touch, so the Flyers are going to have to eat some of that. It's a mess, really. It's really a mess of what the Flyers are involved in right now. And it's going to be interesting to see what Danny B and Keith Jones do through this. And as we get closer to that trade deadline, how they navigate through it, and what signals are they sending to their team, and what signals are they sending, more importantly, to their fan base. Another year of, being in the hunt, but then submarining themselves at the trade deadline for future assets. Is that what Flyers fans really want? Is another year of not making the playoffs? Now, granted, they're not a Stanley Cup contending team, but another year of not even getting to the playoffs and purposely, self-inflictedly doing things to not get you there. Is that starting to wear the Flyer fans out? All these are real interesting questions that the Flyers are going to have to answer as we get into the trade deadline, March 7th, by the way. If I hadn't said it like 1,000 times, but March 7th is the trade deadline in the NHL. So we'll see. But 4-2 Flyers with the win tonight. Outstanding game. And they'll be back at it on Wednesday night against the Devils on the back end of the home and home. And Sal will have you for that until we talk again. And I'll be back tomorrow night with the final word with Matty B as I begin to dwelge into the world of the delusional Super Bowl homers. That's right, because it's starting to catch fire around here, boy, as the Eagles are on their way to the Super Bowl. And I'm hearing all kinds of stuff that's making me physically ill. And we'll start cutting some of that up tomorrow on the final word. So make sure you're back here tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the final word with Matty B. Until we talk again, in the immortal words of Mr. Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.